What is up, everybody? How you doing? It's the Birdman from the Birdman Show. First, you got Ace, got Def right there. We'll get started very shortly. I'm looking forward to this episode. It's another You Be the Judge episode. And you never know what exactly we're going to actually get here. So it's going to be a fun episode. Like I said, we'll be starting here very shortly. What is up, everybody? How you doing? It's your boy, the Birdman from the Birdman Show. You already know what to do. So why don't you go ahead and do it with us one time? That is right. We are here. We are live on the Birdman Show. Hopefully, everybody's having a good week. I don't know. I can't speak for everybody. I'm having a decent week, but it is what it is. I got to hear from my co-host though first before we get started with anything else. I got Ace and I've got Def Light here. How are we guys doing? Ace, let's start with you. How are you doing?
I am doing good. It's been a good week. I actually had to do somebody else's job today at work. Our yard guys are on vacation, so we had to go and do some mowing. But it's busy work, keeps me out of trouble, and it's not like I didn't enjoy doing it. So, good day.
Okay, there's that. That's awesome. I mean, it is what it is. I know how that goes. Def Light, aka Carrie. I say aka Carrie, like Carrie's not your actual real freaking name. Um Carrie, aka Def Light. How the freak are you doing? Now you missed last week because you got a chance to spend some great quality time with your daughter. First of all, how'd that go? And then tell us how you're doing.
It went as bad as good as hanging out with a 13-year-old going on 30. I'm sorry, 14-year-old going on 30 can go. But she was in a good mood, and it was nice because usually she's a in her room only gremlin, so that was fun. We didn't argue. We don't usually argue. She usually just gets mad and gets quiet and then disappears. So I know where she got that from.
Oh, so it's like a regular relationship. Okay, I got you.
I do the same thing. I get mad. I'm silence.
I mean, yeah. I mean, so like it's like a regular relationship, saying you get mad at each other and then you just kind of go silent, go off on your own and whatever. So yeah, I mean, I get it. I understand it. It is what it is. Um, but yeah, I mean, that's how it rolls. But other than that, you've had a pretty good one. So before we get started with anything, I'm gonna continue with you, Carrie. Um, what are your plans for the fourth?
Laundry. That's it. Nothing special.
I'm really
She gonna blow it
laundry.
up.
That's what?
Laundry.
Okay, awesome.
Maybe some
Uh,
dusting, vacuuming. I don't know. It's like just another Friday. I've got tomorrow off.
I'm
I've got Friday off. I'm off all weekend. I don't go back to work till Monday. So
I'm not. I mean, yeah, I'm yeah. Okay, cool. I'm not. Yeah, that's yeah. Okay. Anyways, Ace. I mean, you live here with me, so I mean, but you also have your own life. You're a grown ass man. So, what are your plans?
My plans for the fourth are going to consist of me sitting in my room with my headphones in and trying to block all of it out.
Okay, as long as you didn't say vacuuming like Officer Doofy on Scary Movie, then we're okay. Just
No, no vacuuming on this end. Although, I mean, Carrie's only 13 hours away. I could go pay her a visit and help her vacuum.
whoa, 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 whoa,
I think
whoa,
he
whoa,
missed the
whoa.
Officer Doofy part.
Right?
Uh, I have not seen Scary Movie, so yes, I
Okay.
did.
Yeah.
You missed the whole part of Mom told you don't bother me when I'm vacuuming my room. You remember that? You don't remember that part at all? Or when his sister said, "Hey, your mom also said stop sticking your penis in the vacuum cleaner."
I have not seen Scary Movie.
So that's what you should do this weekend. I've even seen Scary Movie, and I'm not into like comedy stuff like that,
Is it
like
too early to take
parodies.
a commercial break?
Yes.
Damn.
We need to save that for when I really aggravate you later.
Oh Jesus! You saying that lets me know what kind of episode we're in for. Okay. Oh baby Jesus. Okay, let's look at who's okay. I don't even know. Um Tabs, how you doing? Who else is in here? Dre Flo. Oh, hey Dre, that's my youngest daughter's mom. My youngest daughter's mom and my daughter are watching right now. Thank you guys for joining. I appreciate it. It's only going to get worse. Anyways, yeah, so that's awesome. Okay, so oh Jesus, really, really, Carrie, it's really that bad of an episode.
This is the more mild one.
This is a mild one. Okay, awesome.
Of the ones that we have left, yeah.
Oh baby Jesus. Okay, all right. Anyways, okay, so yeah, definitely want to thank everybody for joining us for this episode of the Birdman Show. I am literally scared right now. But anyways, it is what it is. As you can see, if you're looking right now, you see the red colored shirt with the Birdman Show logo on there. Of course, like I said, we are definitely rolling out the Birdman merch. So definitely, if you want to get a shirt, we have our ones that have got the super chat, super fan chat. Good lie, that's a tongue twister. Super fan chat. Winners of those. We're gonna be getting shirts out for you guys. I think Ace has got those sizes for those. I think you got all of them, right? Okay, he's got all the sizes for those for the most part. We'll be getting those out to you guys. But definitely, if you want to get a Birdman shirt, definitely let us know. You can hit up Ace, hit myself up. You can hit Carrie up. Good luck, because she probably not going to respond to you. She's probably going to tell you to just go contact the Birdman or Ace.
Not true. I only ignore you because all you do is send videos.
I send funny videos to help uplift your day and brighten your day, but you just are a
600 of
jerk.
them. I have work.
You can look at them later.
I forget. I have to make the notification go away because they just keep popping up and compiling. So I open the chat to make the notification go away, and then I close it, and then it leaves my mind until you do it again.
Look, Miss Ma'am, okay? Those are goodie notifications for goodie videos. They're designed to make you laugh. All right. And say, hey, let me take a break out of my day that might be stressful and laugh for a second. That's what I do. That's what the Birdman does.
So in other words, if you need to message me, go ahead. Just don't send me 700 videos because then I will ignore you.
Yes, on TikTok.
I do it to Ace too.
Now, Messenger.
You haven't done it in a while.
I was gonna say I ain't sent you shit.
You haven't done it in a while. There for a little while, I got like 6 or 7 from you, like throughout the week, like back to back to back, and I would ignore you too. But you haven't done it in a while. But Birdman is king video spammer.
Yes, I am. I don't care. Like you can view them every time you want to. I don't care. You can ignore them all you want to. I don't care. But if you take the time to actually watch the videos I send you at any point in time, then I'm happy. I don't care if you watch them right then. I'm okay with you doing exactly what you're saying. I'm not upset with you. I'm not mad at you saying, oh my God, I'm not going to send Carrie any more videos. I'm not doing it anymore. It's not happening. I'm not doing it. No, I don't care. I'll still send them to you. Why? Because I love you. I want you to have a good day. That just happened. Anyways, we are going to be talking.
It only goes downhill from here, folks.
Today is a You Be the Judge episode. It's a You Be the Judge episode. This is one of the ones we enjoy these episodes. Now, listen, Ace and I have joked plenty of times when it comes to the You Be the Judge episodes about the reason why we love them. We love them because we don't have to do any research on them. We just act as judges. The audience act as jury members. Carrie gets to tell us what's going on with these episodes, and we love it. And we joke about it. But I actually enjoy it because they're different from what we normally do. And that's one of the reasons why I love it. Carrie has this wonderful book. Carrie, once again, tell the people what book you're actually pulling these stories from.
Huh?
Tell everybody once again
What's
where
the name of
where you pulling these stories from.
Pulling these stories from?
You Be the Judge. That's literally the name of it. That's literally.
Which is the name of the series we're doing.
Was written. It is written by Judge Norbert, some German last name with like 27 letters, so I'm not even going to try. It's the only book I've ever seen like this. I've actually tried to find other books similar to it, and there's nothing out there like this. I do think he needs a better editor, even though it's a pretty old book. Because some of the stuff just doesn't make sense, but it's a lot of fun.
Now, I will say this going forward, okay? Because I am noticing that we're having some issues as far as internet wise. So I'll go ahead and put this disclaimer out now. Um, you may experience some issues that we're having as far as our internet or whatnot as far as the studio goes. I do apologize if anybody is experiencing any issues. I don't know as far as the audience goes, how their experience is going right now. But like I said, with the final production, may not be as much of an issue. So like I said, if you are experiencing an issue, I do apologize. If you're not, hey, thank you for enjoying the show. Anyways, okay, so Deathlight, aka Carrie, aka Deathlight. God bless it. I don't know why Deathlight is just that's your real name. Fuck it. Anyways, let's get into tonight's episode. What are we talking about here tonight?
Today, the case is assisted suicide or murder.
Dr. Kevorkian.
No.
Ma'am,
Damn.
ma'am.
What? What?
What? Assisted suicide or what?
Murder.
Not Kevorkian.
Not Kevorkian, no. It was either that or one that I'm really avoiding. I'm not gonna lie. What was it called? Where'd it go? They all look alike, which is race-based. Oh, and two sheriffs go too far, which is race-based.
What?
We have some really bad ones left. We have some really bad ones.
You know what?
Left.
I'm not questioning. I'm not questioning you. Good call. Let's just go with it.
I think that was your cue to start.
My entire computer just did something really weird, and then he completely froze, so I have no idea what happened. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know either. I saw that on my end when it said you had issues with your side. Okay. No, you're good. Yeah, you're good. Don't even worry about it. Like I said, I'm not going to question you on your judgment on which case to do today. I think that was a good call. I think the two you're trying to avoid, great avoidance on that. Let's get this bad boy started.
Okay, so this is back in the early 1990s, okay? So take it back. And these do have some seriously hot topics that could cause some triggers. Just be kind of a heads up. The state versus Stephen Sarko. Dying of AIDS, Leo Melnick begged they call him his roommate, but it was his boyfriend, Steve Sarko, to help him die before the pain and suffering became worse. This was at a time in the early 1990s when AIDS was a speedy death sentence and treatment was just a dream. Both men were gay, loved each other, and had lived together compatibly for many years. Melnick proposed a plan to Sarko where Sarko would tie Melnick's wrists behind his back while Melnick lay on the bed face down. Then Sarko would wind a sash around Melnick's neck, attach it to his wrists behind him, and then he raised his ankles. So basically, in this position, Melnick would strangle himself by stretching out his legs.
I'm sorry.
He's computing.
What?
I can see the squirrel.
He would what?
You heard her correctly.
Mm-hmm.
He tied a sash around his neck, pulled his legs behind him, attached the sash to his legs so
He's
that he stretches his legs out and it strangulates himself.
It was basically he was hogtied, but by the
Basically.
neck instead of the wrists.
And this was the one. And just so I'm correct, this episode that you chose was the one that was least. Oh,
There's one that's even lesser, but I want to save that one between the two race ones we've got left.
okay. So disclaimer: I apologize to anybody who's joined the Birdman Show for the first time, and I don't even know how to apologize for that. Okay, so let's just screw it. We're here. Let's go.
I'm assuming. Okay, all right. So basically, all Sarko would have to do is hold Melnick's body so he wouldn't fall off the bed. At first, Sarko refused. How could he help kill someone he loved? But Melnick pleaded with him it would be suicide, not murder. Melnick would do the actual killing. He reminded Sarko of how he had watched a close friend suffer with AIDS before dying. Surely Sarko would not want Melnick to go through such a misery. If you really love me, you'll do it. Finally, Sarko consented, and first the two men prayed together, after which Sarko tied Melnick up according to the plan. He stood by and held his body until Melnick choked himself to death. Frightened of the consequences, Sarko fled the scene and left Melnick's corpse on the bed. Was it murder or suicide? Eventually, police arrested Sarko, and the DA brought him to trial on the charge of aiding and abetting a deliberate and premeditated murder. The DA, this is going into the actual trial now. This is the opening statement by the DA. Sarko may not look like a murderer now, but I assure you he will look different to you when you hear what he did. Sarko's attorney, Tim O'Connor, he was actually a DA, and he was a DA until he threatened to fight the judge in another case, and then he decided to become a defense attorney. Tim O'Connor, guys. He's Irish.
Did you say he threatened to fight
He was
the
ready to
judge?
fight a judge in a different case, so he decided to stop being a DA and become a defense attorney.
I ain't got no words. Just continue. Just continue. Just go. Just go ahead.
I think the lesser of the three evils is going to break him tonight.
Mm-hmm. What Stephen Sarko did, O'Connor says, was help his dying friend commit suicide. That is all. What we have here is not a murder of any kind, but an act of friendship and love. The prosecution calls Linda Carey as its first witness. She is the director of nursing at Valley Hospital. Leo Melnick was a practical nurse on her staff. He failed to show up for work on the evening of October the 10th, 1991, which was unusual for him. When he did not show up the following evening, she became concerned. Her phone calls to his number were unanswered, so she had called the police and asked them to check his apartment. On cross-examination by O'Connor, she states that her staff treats patients who have AIDS. And O'Connor says, "Are you aware that AIDS is usually fatal?" And she said, "Yes." And O'Connor says, once you have it, you are likely to die. And she said, in many cases, right. Did Leo Melnick have AIDS? And she responded, I have no idea. And was he ever tested for AIDS? And she said, you mean by our hospital? Yes, before you hired him. And he said, no, we cannot demand that an individual be tested for AIDS. That might be considered discrimination, so we don't do it. Irina Melnick takes the stand. She is the victim's mother. Mrs. Melnick lives in Missouri, and she testifies that her son left his hometown in Missouri while still in his teens when he realized that he was gay. He moved to the West Coast, where he had lived for the past 17 years, to be in a friendlier atmosphere. She often discussed homosexuality openly with him. She knows he attempted suicide 3 years ago, but he never told her that he had AIDS. As far as she knew, he was in good health, even ran several miles a day to stay in shape. She also phoned the police when she could not reach him on the phone. Tom Jessup testifies that he was the first police officer on the scene. He received a radio call in his patrol car on the evening of October the 11th, 1991, to check on Leo Melnick in his apartment at, why are you giving me an address? 2005 Fifth Avenue. When he rang the bell and banged on the door without getting an answer, he talked to the neighbors. He said they had not seen Melnick or his roommate, Stephen Sarko, for several days. Finally, Officer Jessup kicked in the door. Seeing no one in the living room, he opened the door to the bedroom. There, lying on the bed, face down on a pillow, was a fully clothed man who fit the description of Leo Melnick. The officer checked for rigor mortis. He felt the skin, lifted an arm and let it drop, and determined Melnick had been dead for several hours. He wouldn't do that. He would check for a pulse, but whatever. Melnick's hands were behind his back, but they were not tied. The officer found no ropes or bindings of any kind. He saw no blood on the bed anywhere else in the apartment. He searched the apartment for possible murder weapons, but found none. While he was still in the apartment, the phone rang, and he answered it. It was Melnick's mother calling from Missouri, asking to speak with her son. The officer had to tell her the truth. That, he says, was one of the hardest things I ever had to do. Another police officer, Detective Christine, is called to the stand, and she was the member of the homicide team investigating, I lost my place. That threw me off. The homicide. She was a member of the homicide team investigating the case. The detective arrived on the scene soon after receiving Officer Jessup's call for assistance. She inspected the body, noticed abrasions on the wrist and ligature marks across the front of the throat. In her opinion, these marks were caused by the tightening of an object such as a rope around the neck. The apartment was neat, showing no sign of a struggle and no sign of forced entry. She found a card on the desk that read AIDS and the Doctors of Death, Dr. Marvin Gosenberg. Investigation led the detectives team to Sarko and his cousin's apartment across town. When they found him, he seemed very frightened. After being advised of his rights, Sarko admitted that he had been his roommate and that he helped him commit suicide and then left the body on the bed because he was afraid of the consequences. He broke down in tears and refused to answer any more questions without an attorney. He was placed under arrest and charged with murder. Dr. David, why do you have to make up such weird names? Zuniga?
So that we
Zunga?
can hear you try to pronounce them.
Dr. David testifies as the medical examiner who performed the autopsy. The cause of death was asphyxia by ligature strangulation. He found ligature marks on the necks and wrists and bruising of the tongue by the teeth of a clenched mouth. Dr. David also examined the victim's colon, and he found purple spots in the intestines. And after examining them under a microscope, he concluded that Melnick had a cancer. Yeah, I can't pronounce that. He had cancer. The doctor testified this is an indication that the decedent was infected with HIV. The DA, Kornbluth, hones in on the AIDS question. Are you certain that Mr. Melnick tested positive for HIV, which is associated with AIDS? And he says, yes. Does that mean he was going to die from it? And Doc says, not necessarily. Some people with this virus may never get sick. And the DA said, well, they could live indefinitely. And the doctor said, yes. You can't live indefinitely, whether you've got AIDS, HIV, you're perfectly healthy, whatever. Anyway,
Right.
through their natural course in life, it's possible, yes. And when people die of AIDS, they die because their immune system breaks down? Yes. And do they suffer from various illnesses before death? Yes. Usually pneumonia, sometimes malignancies, until they finally succumb to some sort of fatal infection. And did you see any evidence that Mr. Melnick suffered from pneumonia or any other serious illnesses before his death? And he said, I did not. Was he a normal weight for his size? And he said his weight was normal. There was no indication of any abnormal weight loss. So O'Connor, the little angry Irishman defense attorney, cross-examines with a hypothetical question. Doctor, if a man's wrists were bound behind his back and a cord was wrapped around his neck and tied to his wrist, would it be possible for that person to choke himself to death? And the doctor says it's possible but doubtful. And he said, well, why do you say it's doubtful? Because usually a person will lapse into unconsciousness first before dying from strangulation, and so it's unlikely that while unconscious he'll be able to keep up the pressure or tension necessary to strangle himself to death. But it could happen, and he said possibly. And the prosecution rests. Everybody good so far? Questions?
I do have questions. The one question I have is, the doctor said that he had cancerous cells in his colon,
Mm-hmm.
and he was diagnosed with HIV, correct? Or he was diagnosed with AIDS.
I believe he was, but not the medical examiner just said that it showed indications that he had AIDS. I don't think he actually tested for it or anything, the way that it's written.
Okay. But when he talked his boyfriend into assisting him, his reasoning was because he couldn't deal with the pain anymore from the illness. But
He
according,
he worked with patients because he was a nurse
uh-huh.
that had AIDS, and he had a personal friend that had died from AIDS. So he didn't want to go through that pain.
Okay. So he didn't want to get to the point where his friend was, or the patients that he took care of.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, continue.
Okay. Stephen Sarko takes the stand in his defense. Uh, O'Connor starts right off with the fact that Sarko is gay. And he said, let's start with your sexual orientation. What is it? He says, I am a homosexual. And O'Connor asks, how long have you been a homosexual? Sarko says, all my life. When do you first recall having homosexual encounter? Uh, Sarko responds, I had encounters at age 5 or 6. That,
Um,
yeah, yeah. I did not pre-read. So, wow.
um, okay. I'm not going to address the elephant in the room on this one. Uh, for everybody that is watching, you are smart enough to figure out what happened at that age. It's in my opinion, it's sad that an incident like that dictated his whole life.
Mm-hmm.
So please continue.
He testifies he was working in a bookstore around the time of Melnick's death. A year before meeting Leo Melnick, he had been involved with a man named Eddie Wilmot. They were not only lovers.
just we can't see him, we can't hear him, but he's still here.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I know you guys can't see me right now.
You heard her correctly.
Yeah.
He had homosexual encounters at the age of 5 or 6.
He had encounters at age 5 or 6.
Yeah, and I'm assuming you guys.
Those are not encounters, sir. What was that? All I see is a shadow moving in the background.
It was Dez.
He had been involved with a man named Eddie Wilmot. They were not only lovers, but also best friends. Then Eddie contracted AIDS. As his illness became serious, he asked Sarko to live with him to help him in his final days. So Sarko moved in with Eddie, tended to his needs, and helped him get to the hospital. Sarko watched the horror of the ordeal and how Eddie suffered. After Eddie died, he moved back to his own place and began looking for another friend and lover. One day, when he was about to cross the street near the park, a car went by slowly, but the driver cruised him. I had to make sure I was reading that right. Reading cussed him. And O'Connor says, "What do you mean he cruised you?" He looked me up and down, checked me out. He was expressed a certain meanings with his eyes. Is that the 90s version of the come hither look?
Apparently.
Okay.
I've never heard of the cruising before. That was usually in your car going up and down the main drag. But, I mean, this is California.
We don't know that for a fact, but probably.
Well, he said West Coast. Or his mom said West Coast.
And he said, "Well, what did you do in response?" And he said, "I looked at him the same way." Yeah, it was a come hither look. This form of cruising, is that a common experience? And Sarko says everybody does it. And how many times have you been cruised like that? Hundreds of times. Sarko says the driver turned the car around and asked him where he was going, and he got in. They went to the apartment of the driver, Leo Melnick, and started their relationship. They lived together for a year before Leo's death, a close monogamous bond. I feel like they missed a whole bunch of steps in there somewhere. He picked him up off the street. It was like gay pretty woman. That's what I'm getting. He picked him up on the street, took him home, and kept him.
Apparently.
Okay. The two also discovered they were both dedicated distance runners. Together they would run 5-10 miles a day through the streets and the parks of the city before work in the morning. Often they ran side by side in 10-kilometer and marathon races sponsored by the city. They were both in excellent condition as far as anyone could tell. Both had steady jobs, and they were the envy of their gay community. Then one night, just after they had had sex, they were lying in bed, and Leo told Sarko he had AIDS and he knew he was going to die. I mean, wouldn't you do that before?
One would think. One would think that you would let your sexual partner know that you have a STD.
A non-curable STD.
especially in the 90s.
This ain't the
I mean,
clap.
before they
This
came
is
out
almost a
with,
guaranteed death sentence at this point.
yeah, because they didn't have well, they still don't have a cure for it, but they didn't have a treatment
No.
for AIDS in the 90s. So I mean, that was something that I recall distinctively, that if you contracted AIDS, the doctor told you to practice safe sex habits. And obviously, he chose not to.
So O'Connor said, well, what did you say when he told you that? And Sarko responded, Leo, you look fine. You run fine. But he said he knew what would happen. He felt bad inside. We stayed awake all night. We cried together, and I held his hand. He talked about how he was going to die. Did you have sex after that? He said, yes, but I used a condom so I wouldn't get AIDS too. O'Connor asked, what did he want you to do? Sarko responded, he wanted me to contact a secret organization, the Black Mask, where a person who has AIDS, if he wants to die, he can call this organization and they will help him die. He said they operate a big business in New York and San Francisco helping people who really want to die. Leo wanted to pay them $5,000 to help him die, but I didn't know how to contact the people. So then what did he say? He said he asked me if I would help him do it, if I would help him strangle himself. What did he say? Wait, do I want to know what he said?
No, it's DK's comment. You heard of Uber Eats. This is Wiener Meats.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Anywho,
He asked me if I wanted to help him strangle himself, and he said, well, what did you say to that? And Sarko responded, I said, oh, God, no, I couldn't do that. He offered me his ATM card and gave me the password to get the money out. He wanted me to give his gold rings, he wanted to give me his gold rings and even his car, but I said no. I didn't know how to drive anyway. And O'Connor says, did he finally persuade you to finally help him? And he said, he knew how to get to me. He looked at me and said, Steve, you don't want me to go through what your friend Eddie went through, do you? And then Sarko agreed to help Leo die. They went through another night during which they both got down on their knees and prayed together. Leo told Sarko what to do, and Sarko followed his instructions. As Leo lay on the bed, face down, with his hands clasped behind his back, Sarko tied Leo's hands with a belt that Sarko took from his own trousers. And then what did he ask you to do then? He asked me to leave him like that with his hands tied behind his back, so I did. I told him I loved him, and that's why I was doing it. I went into the other room. I was real tired because we hadn't slept for 2 nights. I went to sleep, and when I got up and went in, he was dead. But I didn't kill him. I'm sorry, can we just pause for just a second?
absolutely.
How do you go to sleep in the other room when the person you love is literally dying?
Yeah.
I don't care if you haven't slept in a week. You're not going to be able to just go to sleep.
I almost got myself in trouble.
I mean, even if you agreed to help somebody do that, you are not going to be able to just. Okay,
Go pass out.
I'm done.
Go pass out.
Good night. No.
I'm done. Good night.
The person you supposedly love is in the other room, literally dying, and you're just like, I'm sleepy. I'm gonna go take a nap now.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I couldn't resist myself.
I know. Not even a little.
I know.
I think that should be his new profile picture.
Draflo, that is definitely a possibility. The question is, if in the chat or in the future, if you're not paying attention to the chat, the question was, is anyone else thinking he gave Leo AIDS as his last partner died from it? I mean, it's possible. I mean, he knew he had it. He still had unprotected sex.
Yeah, but I don't remember. Like, I remember them talking about AIDS and, how big and scary and everything it was, but I was too young at the time. So did they know how easily transmitted it was at that time? Was that in the 90s or the 80s when they figured out how easy it was transmittable?
I believe it was the 80s.
Okay, so they should have known by then. I mean, I know it was an epidemic.
Yes.
Among the homosexual, that whole
Community.
area, yeah. So he probably knew and passed it along, and then I don't know why he wouldn't tell him before they did the deed, but
right.
I don't know. Up to this point, you have hardly noticed the nondescript looking DA. Short in stature with thick glasses, thin graying hair, he has asked all his questions from his seat at the council table, never raising his deep voice. You haven't even heard him make an objection. Now, for the first time, he gets up from his chair and moves to the podium and glares at the defendant. The DA asked, "Did you call the police?" He said, "No." "Did you take care of the body of your best friend?" "No, I didn't." "In fact, you went into the kitchen and had a drink, didn't you?" He said, "Yes." "And you left right away, didn't you? You just left him there like that." He said, "I was scared." And the DA asked, "Scared of what? You hadn't done anything wrong, had you?" And Sarko responds, "I was scared of all the implications." The DA said, "You weren't too scared to take his ATM card and go down to the bank and withdraw $200. You weren't so scared that you couldn't do that, were you?" He said, "No." "Did you do that?" He said, "Yes, he wanted me to." The DA said, "You took the gold rings?" He said, "Yes, he gave them to me." The DA says, "Tell us the truth. Isn't it a fact that you killed him because you were mad at him?" "Mad at him? God, no, I loved him. No." "Come on, Mr. Sarko, level with us. Weren't you mad at him because he didn't tell you he had AIDS until after you had sex with him? Didn't that make you mad?" "Oh, no, you've got it all wrong. That wasn't it, not at all." Sarko is beginning to break, and the DA just stands there and looks at him for a long time. Sometimes silence is the best way to get people to freak the fuck out.
Mm-hmm.
Zia says, "Come on, Steve, why don't you tell us the truth? Why don't you level with this jury? You'll feel better if you open up." Sarko says, "I didn't kill him, I swear it." "All right, then tell us how he died." He said, "I told you," with his hands behind his back. "Come on." "He wanted me to tie his neck up, but I couldn't do that." "How did he want you to tie his neck up?" "He had this deal on his neck." "What kind of deal?" "A sash." "What sash?" "Like off a robe." "He had that on his neck, and he said he had that around his neck, and he wanted me to tie that to his wrist so he could choke himself, but I wouldn't do that." "So you just tied his hands?" He said, "Right, I just tied his hands and left him alone with that deal around his neck. He said just go and leave him." And I went to the living room, and I closed the door, and I went to sleep, and I went back in there, and he was dead. Just like that. Yes, Steve, I swear. Come on, Steve. A man just doesn't die from having his hands tied behind his back. You don't expect this jury to believe that. And Sarko says, I didn't kill him. How did the marks get on his neck? Sarko looks down. He's shaking his head. How did the marks get on his neck, Mr. Sarko? And at this point, this guy is like shaking like a leaf in a hurricane. He's freaking the fuck out. The DA says, I know, Steve, I know you want to open up. You're going to feel a lot better if you tell us the truth. For his sake, for your own soul, just tell us what happened in that bedroom. Well, I didn't want to. Go ahead, let it out. Don't make his death a lie. You want to tell us. Sarko started with, when his hands were tied, I tied the sash on. Now, see, now that's better. You're starting to tell us the truth. I tied his hands like this with the sash onto them. Okay, it's around his neck. Then you tied the sash to his hands, right?
We're back.
Welcome back.
All right. Go ahead and pick back up where he starts telling about how he tied. So were we. Tied the sash around his neck and then his hands.
It's around his neck. Then you tied the sash to his hands, right? And he said, yes, that's what he asked me to do. And he said, what was he doing? He said, he was trying to choke himself. And you let him do that? He said, I was scared. I didn't want him to go through what Eddie went through. Now you're being truthful. Tied his feet too? Yes. Is he smacking the camera? Because that's freaking me the fuck out. Looks like he's trying to flick me in the nose.
He might be. Continue.
Okay. I don't know if he's going to start talking or not.
Not yet.
Get on his little soapbox. He said, now you're being truthful. Tied his feet too. He said, yes. You feel better now? Y'all are not helping with my squirrel ass brain. I'm trying to ignore you, and I just keep seeing fingers and cameras.
Did you say fingers and cameras?
That's what I kept seeing out the corner of my eye. Did I stutter? No, I did not.
It's the Birdman Show, not OnlyFans. Anyways, go ahead.
You thinking of Only Toes?
No.
Only if it's a camel toe.
Oh, God, don't. Could you wait till I had the drink all the way before you opened
I wanted to see you spit it. Yes, I know. That just goes so well together.
Oh, my God. Oh.
Spitting camel toes. I mean,
okay.
I'm sorry.
Spitting camel toes? Spitting camel toes.
Yes.
Can I suggest a commercial break?
We might need to take one. I mean, we honestly might need to take one.
LooseKnuckles.com.
We're going to take a commercial break. We're definitely going to take a commercial break after that one. Yeah, so let's take a commercial break. We'll be right back after these messages from I don't even know who. I don't care. Just go.
Push the button.
Bye.
Push the button. Push the button.
Somewhere up there.
Up where?
I don't know.
It's not doing anything. We might be stuck.
Well, it's not doing anything because you're not on your computer.
Oh no! Oh no! 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 We cannot. Give me a second. No, we can't come back from this. We can't. I'm no. No! 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 No!
Dead.
No! No! We are taking a commercial break. Give me a second to figure it out, but we're taking a commercial break. I'm hurting here. No, we're definitely not. Give me a second.
Holy
Hold up, 1 second.
shit.
1 second. We are
Absolutely, DK.
yes, we are definitely. Hold up. Oh crap! I don't think I can do it from here either. Oh god. Okay. Oh no, it's not gonna let me do it. Okay. So, anyways, this portion of the Birdman Show is brought to you by Restream. Not Restream. I don't even know where we're at right now. I don't even know where we're at right now. Like I don't know where we're at. I don't know where we're at right now.
Wow.
We're on Riverside. We're on Riverside. This break is brought to you by Riverside.fm. For oh god. Okay. I don't even think God can help us out right now. Okay.
And that concludes our commercial break.
Thank you for joining the Birdman Show. I'm out. Get the fuck out of here. Anyways, what the?
Oh, shit.
High quality professionalism at work here.
I don't know what just happened. I don't know what just happened.
You had a stroke.
I definitely think I had a stroke. Most definitely had a stroke. Oh, for the love of God.
Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave.
Yeah. 100%. Okay, so
wow. Oh, shit.
Okay. We did a lot of that. There was a lot of that going on in the last 5 seconds. Anyways, okay. Carrie, how much more do you have of this?
I have no idea.
I don't either. I don't either.
By the way, welcome back.
Yeah. It's there's a huge issue. Yeah, very cute puppy territory. There's a very huge issue going on the production side of Riverside on my side. Like as you see, I'm on my phone right now. I was able to join the studio, no problems, everything's good, we're all good to go. But when I try to do the studio, I'm getting nothing. So I don't know if they're having an issue where everything's coming out of, and it's just not allowing me to do anything. I don't know. I don't even know what the product looks like right now. I have no idea. So your guess is as good as mine, everybody. Thank you for the Birdman Show. Joining the Birdman Show. It's a shit show. It's everything. It's just everything that possibly can happen. It's gonna fucking happen on the Birdman Show.
Holy shit! He just cussed on the fucking Birdman.
I did.
Everybody write that shit on the calendar.
I did. I apologize. I do apologize. I'm trying to get better about that. Especially since I'm trying to get sponsors. But it is what it is. That's why I love my co-hosts. We still run with everything. I was communicating with them as we were doing this, so it is what it is. But yes, okay. So where are you at right now, Carrie? From this
In a land of
non-commercial break
confusion
this
and
non-commercial break we just had.
insanity, and I have a headache because
It's
I don't know
everyday
what the
life.
fuck's going on.
It's everyday life. It
This
is what
is
it is.
that no, this is a bigger foobar than my everyday life. Thank you very
Oh,
much.
your life is not conducive to everybody else's life. Okay, so where were you talking about just now a little bit ago? I didn't actually when I joined on here on my phone, I did not expect me to be on camera at the moment because I was trying to mess with everything in the studio, so I did not expect that. So I do apologize for that. I didn't think it was going to happen. So when we were talking before we tried to take this commercial. Where were you guys at? Because I really was not paying attention, trying to get everything else going.
So where were we at in the story, or where were we actually at?
Yeah, in the story.
The story.
Okay, we're not going back there. That's good. Um,
No.
so, so he tied his feet, um, and the DA is basically pushing him. You still haven't told us everything, have you? And he said, well, what do you mean? He said, I mean, he needed some help to die, didn't he? And Sarko responded, I helped him. Well, how did you help him? He said, I tied him. And he says, I know you tied him. Did you hold him? And Sarko responded, what? Did you hold him after he was tied? And he said, I just held his body. He said, you held it? He said, yeah, to keep him from falling off the bed. He said, please hold me so I can do it. Did he choke? And he said, yes, sir, he did. He choked. Sarko is openly crying now, no longer holding back the tears. His body is shaking as if something deep inside him is being forced out. You look at the jurors, and some of them are crying too. Even the judge looks on the verge of tears. And the DA says, go ahead, let it out, Steve, let it out. And he says, I didn't do this. I didn't do this for money or rings, I swear. You can hardly make out the words through all the sobbing. The DA says, go ahead. And he says, he was bucking. I had to put my hands on his back to hold him down. And he said, you were there the whole time? He said, yes, standing beside him. And he said, you didn't choke him with your hands? He said, no, he was doing that himself. And he said, never pulled on the sash? And he said, no. I just enough weight on his back with your hand. He said, yes. Until it started to choke him. He said, yes. Then he kicked one last time. The belt broke, and that was it. And the DA said he was gone, and he said, yes. Sarko leans back, exhausted, and the judge hands him a tissue from the bench, and there is a long pause. Finally, the crying stops. We're in recess, the judge says. And there's
I
no
would hope so.
closing arguments or anything on this one. It's just the end of it. So the options are guilty of first degree, second degree, voluntary manslaughter, not guilty of involuntary manslaughter, or not guilty.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. Um. Wow. Okay. Um. So we will said that right after that, just in recess, right? Wow. Okay.
It's kind of weird that they didn't do any closing statements in this one,
It is.
Yeah, that's what I was
because
like
usually they
getting
they
to.
at least give like half of the closing.
Something.
And this was a jury case.
Yeah, this was a jury case.
Okay. Okay. Let me ask you both this question real quick. Can you guys see this on your screen?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. That's what I just need to know. That's what we're doing this episode on. Other than all the other bullshit surprises we're going here, I discussed again. I do. I know. I'm sorry. It's one of those nights. Okay. That is surprising that they didn't give anything else other than those no closing statements on that. That is a little bit surprising. Is that the only cases you've had that you ran into that really didn't give closing arguments?
I don't know. I'm reading these as I do this show.
But I mean,
It's
if you remember,
just as much as a
that
surprise
we've
as
done so far, I believe
yeah,
so.
I don't remember any other ones. I don't remember any other ones that you didn't have closing arguments. So I cannot
I
think
know
off
that
the
there's
top of my.
been some that it's only like partial closing.
But it's
Like
still
it's just like a
something.
little snippet. Yeah.
Yeah,
This
but
is
it's
the
still
only one
something.
where it just ended.
Wow, that's okay. I'm a little taken back. Now I am at a little bit of a disadvantage because I obviously have had some other things I've
You
been trying to figure out here. So I didn't. I wasn't aware of. I'm not fully up to speed with everything that's going on with this case. Um, that does kind of still the ending kind of throws me for a loop. So yeah, I don't know. Um, hmm, interesting. Okay, so that being said, Ace, what are some of your thoughts as far as everything you've heard with this case going on? Where are you at as far as before we get to the verdict? Where are you at with it?
being in the '90s, I I I know how I would rule this case, but being in the '90s, I have to look at it as how they would rule the case because knowing what we know now with the advancement of medicine and technology and everything, it would be a different situation, especially as early on in the disease as what he was.
Hmm.
Um, but knowing then how it was basically a death sentence if you contracted the disease because they didn't have the advancements that we have now. I have to look at it from two different perspectives.
There's one thing don't forget about.
What's the one thing?
The worst thing you could possibly do when you're on the stand is lie.
Well, yes,
And he lied to the jury and the judge.
yes,
You can't do that.
There's that. There's definitely that.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that sucks about that, and that's a great point, Carrie. The thing that sucks about that, no matter what your case is, no matter what you're presenting, at any point in time, if you lie in that type of setting, when they say you're going to tell the whole truth, the whole nothing but the truth, so help you God, and you lie, it's hard for people to believe anything else you say
exactly.
before or after. It's hard for anybody to believe that or say, hey, you know what? I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Okay, it's hard for that. And so therefore, that's a great point, Carrie. Great point. So I'm actually very intrigued to see or actually hear what the end of this is. For those out there who are watching, definitely, what are your thoughts? Anybody in the comments, let us know. Watching on Riverside, what are your comments on this episode? As far as what do you feel? What do you believe? Is there anybody? I'll ask this question. Actually, also, is there anybody watching on a laptop or a computer right now that has the live call-in feature? Please let us know in the comment. Dre said are you watching you're watching on a laptop, right, Dre? Is that what you said? Well, if you got the live calling feature, if you have if you have an opinion on what happened with the or what you think might be the outcome of this case before we get to it, hit that live calling feature. Uh, Anybody else that's watching on a laptop or a computer or desktop, if you have the live calling feature, let us know. Hit us up. Hit that live call in feature. ask your question or whatever, or your opinion, and we'll bring it in here and let you know, or let you comment on what your thoughts are on this case as well. As we're doing that, before we get to that part, Ace, since I have absolutely zero ability to play any of our commercials, um,
You're like doing a puber on the fly.
I know you want to do
I am not
you
doing a
you don't
puber.
you don't do you not remember the W commercial off on the fly?
I mean,
The
yeah, it
Birdman
kind of looked like
Show
that.
is sponsored by W Energy Drink. Is a W is formulated to give you energy and a bunch of other stuff. It has amino acids. It has isotropic acids.
Whoa, sir, hold up. That 100% I know is not true. Hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute. No,
It
we're not doing
has
that.
it has the X Factor. I don't know the fucking commercial.
Stop.
If you go to w.gg, that is DUBBY.gg, and enter the code Birdman Show, you will get 10% off your first order. And tell them that Ace, Deathlight, and the Birdman sent you.
Don't bring my name
Okay.
into this.
Yeah, I'm about to say take my name out of it. This fool is putting ingredients that they are nowhere near in part of that damn thing.
He told me to do it on the fly.
I didn't say makeup.
I buzzed the fucking tower.
No. First of all, I said, do you remember the commercial?
I remember it.
No, you do not.
I remember that I did it.
You got one ingredient right. One.
To his credit, he got a lot of the commercial right, just not the actual
Ingredients.
ingredients.
Which is the big part of selling the product. If you want to know what really W does, then definitely go check out one of our past episodes. Yes. I will make sure I will go back after this is uploaded and I will put in the commercial. Oh Lord, baby Jesus. I will put the commercial in that has all the stuff in. Not only is the Birdman Show sponsored by W, it's also sponsored by the Tri-State 66ers, a minor league basketball team out of Pittsburgh and Parsons, Kansas, as well as 143 Infinite Designs, which is a t-shirt business where any designs you want, we can put it on and fabricate any type of t-shirt, sweatshirt, any of your apparel needs that you need. 143 Infinite Designs can do that for you, as well as a plethora of anything else. But yes, oh Lord Jesus. Okay, so like I said, for those who are out there watching us on our Restream, not Restream, Riverside, there's too many River and Restream and all that stuff. All it's too many. That Riverside is watching us on Riverside. If you're watching us in right now in studio, what do you believe? Carrie, can you please tell us once again what the outcomes of this case could be again?
So the options are first-degree murder, second-degree murder, voluntary manslaughter, involuntary manslaughter, or not guilty.
Oh wow, that's a lot. That's for not having any closing arguments. That's a lot of options.
I mean, they had them in the actual trial, I'm sure.
Well, I'm sure, yeah. But still, for not giving us any type of closing argument, that's a lot of. Okay, so you have quite a bit of options to choose from as far as this case is. What do you believe For those who've been watching this, what do you believe the actual outcome of this case is? We'll give a moment to pause here for anybody who wants to think of what the case is going to be here in studio, as well as those who are going to be watching this later. What do you think the actual outcome of this case is? Ace, you about to say something?
Tabby is saying guilty of involuntary manslaughter.
Okay, I see that. All right. Well, Dre, we do actually have a written. Um, I do have a written script of every ad we do.
It's just in his office.
Yeah, it's in my office. Number one. Number two, it doesn't matter if it's in my office or not. Ace doesn't read it correctly. So it doesn't matter if I have a freaking written script that I work very hard on correcting.
Okay. Hey, time out.
I'm sorry. What? What?
Involuntary manslaughter. The crime of involuntary manslaughter is the unlawful killing of a human being without the intent to kill, when the fatal act involves a high risk of death or bodily harm and is done without due caution. So if it was like they were doing kink time and he accidentally died from that, that would be involuntary manslaughter.
Yes.
But the question is, though, I mean, that's still vague, because let's be honest. If someone kicks a dude in the fun bags, the southern fun bags, if they kick him hard enough, they could die from that. Okay, right? But no one thinks of that when they're doing it.
That would
no
be.
one thinks of that.
This was intentional.
Intentional. I understand that, but I'm saying the involuntary manslaughter.
I don't understand why involuntary manslaughter was even on the table, because whether it was an assisted or at a murder, it was intentional. The plan was made.
The plan was that you're not going to be here tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, I agree with you. I agree with you on that. I was just throwing that out because I agree with you. That shouldn't have been in there. And that's how ridiculous I'm saying that it was in there. That's what I was trying. That's the point I was making. That's ridiculous.
Voluntary manslaughter is the intentional killing of a human being without malice and aforethought.
I could agree with that.
That's what I'm going with.
I agree with it being in there. I'll say that. I'm not going to say what I'm saying. DK said it, voluntary. Is anybody else in there? Tabby said what? Guilty of involuntary. Tabby said involuntary.
Well, she said that
before the definition.
The description.
Are you sticking with that, Tabby? I don't know. She's sticking with that, maybe? I don't know.
Second degree murder occurs when the killing is with malice and aforethought, but without deliberation and premeditation.
Well, it was premeditated, though.
I agree.
No, I 100% agree. It was. I mean, there's no way.
No, she's so confused.
There's no way you can get around that part of this case. There's no way you can get around that part. It was a discussion. They planned it out. So I'm not. No. Anyways. Let's just go with it. What Tabby said?
Dre says she doesn't know.
Dead.
She's confused. She doesn't know what to do. And then Dre says voluntary or first degree. I'm going. They will probably say not guilty.
You're saying the jury's going to call him innocent?
Yes.
Okay. Why do you say that?
Because it was a crime of passion.
It was planned.
He did it out of love.
Crime of passion is in the moment. It's not planned.
Whatever. I think that the jury will find him innocent.
Okay. Now my question.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. My question is this, because I did miss a lot because of everything that was going on. Who was the person that actually carried out this act?
Well, that's
Who are
what
they?
the
Who are they?
The person who had AIDS is the one who carried it out.
They were the one that unalived the other person.
No, he unalived himself.
no, that's what the trial is for. Was it assisted suicide or was he murdered?
The
According
act.
to the guy on the trial, he said he assisted him with suicide because he had AIDS and he was dying. But
So the guy.
we only have the viewpoint of the dude that's on trial
Okay,
for
so
the killing.
Okay,
That's
so
like
there's.
listening to P. Diddy and being like, oh, okay, he must
Oh, don't
be
get me started
right.
on that.
Don't
get me started on
God
that.
damn it!
Don't
Why'd
get
you
me
bring
started
that
on
up?
Oh,
Don't get me
please.
started on that.
No.
Please. You knew it was going to
Because you know
happen.
what? Let me tell you something. I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry. But
You knew
Jim
it was going to
Carrey.
I'm not.
happen. You knew it was
As
going to
I'm
happen. It
giving more
happens
people.
every freaking podcast, every single
No,
one.
not everyone. Not everyone. Not everyone.
Every single
I've
one.
been letting it go. I've been letting
Every
it go.
single one.
I have not been bringing it up. I brought it up one at a time on my own. And the other time after that, before that, I have not brought it up unless somebody else brought it up. The crazy thing to me about that is that he got acquitted of all charges except for the ones that really didn't mean anything.
That made it sound like they consented to everything.
Right. He only ones he got convicted on were transportation. Like, if Des and I go
They
somewhere,
volunteered to go with
yes.
him.
If Des and I go somewhere, like if I say, Des, let's go to McDonald's, I'm technically in my car transporting her to McDonald's. We're in it's transportation.
Well,
Like,
I mean, Diddy did have it his way, so.
he did.
That's Burger King.
That's
Oh
Burger King.
shit! Sorry.
Over 1 billion served. Over 1 billion served is McDonald's. Anyways, but what I'm saying, transportation is like we're just traveling together. That's not that's nothing. Like all the other stuff, like you know what? We're not doing it. Anyways, no, not doing it.
Okay,
Anyways,
so we got voluntary, probably voluntary from Tabby. If I didn't throw so many words out there, A says not guilty.
No. I'm saying that's what the jury's going to say. I'm saying voluntary.
I'm saying. What's the definition? What's the definition of voluntary again? Just real quick.
I gotta go back to that page.
Sorry, I apologize.
Voluntary. The fuck did it go? Is the intentional killing of a human being without malice and aforethought.
I'm going voluntary. I'm just gonna say that right now. I'm going voluntary. I don't think it was malice. I don't think it was like. Well, I'm not. I can't say what forethought, but oh wait. If you had to take the whole I don't know. I'm just gonna say voluntary. Screw it. I don't care. Well, I'm going voluntary. All right, let's screw it. Let's go ahead. What is it? Ace said you said involuntary. Ace.
Voluntary.
You said voluntary.
Yes.
I'm gonna say voluntary as well. We've got let's see. Dre said voluntary or first degree. Tab said or DK
Tab's
said
going
voluntary.
with voluntary.
Yeah.
Okay, so Tab is now going voluntary. Okay. Screw it. Whatever. Whatever. This case is really. Oh my god. Go. What is it?
The real life jury found the defendant guilty of murder in the second degree.
Wow.
Really?
The defense had high hopes for a verdict of voluntary manslaughter, which carried a lesser sentence, but the case was won by the DA's effective cross-examination. His unique posture as the father confessor trying to help the defendant gain the trust of the jury, and Sarko also severely hurt his defense when he
By lying.
lied.
Right.
He was sentenced to
Oh
15
yeah,
years to life in prison.
yeah. I forgot about the whole lying part. I
Yeah,
did.
don't lie.
I forgot about that, and I said that. I said that when you said that too.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you lie to the jury, you lie to the judge. That pretty
Your
much just kind
credibility
of
is completely gone. There's no
it's
point.
gone. Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
you're right. I forgot about that. Yeah, you're right. Dang, that's crazy though. Yeah, that's about what I could expect. Wow. Oh well. It is what it is. Wow, that's crazy. Damn, that's crazy. All right. Okay. Cool. 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 Okay. So, Ace, what are your thoughts on tonight's episode?
It was gay.
Whoa. Whoa.
Are we
Whoa.
going with the original version of the word, or are we just going
Whoa.
straight for it?
Wait a minute.
No,
Wait a minute.
it was it's I can see how he wanted to help his partner not have to go through the rest of his life in pain and deteriorating and suffering through the disease.
Mm.
But I mean, murder is murder, no matter if it's for love or if it's for hate. It's still murder.
Okay. All right. Death Flight, what are your thoughts?
There's too many holes. Like, it didn't mention this random ass death card. Shut up. Zip it. They talked about this random black mass death card, business card. Yes, I'm completely ignoring the Giggle twins. But then they never brought it up again.
I am not about to allow you to speed past what the hell you see.
Listen, I didn't want to go down another moose knuckle hole, okay?
I'm sure they eventually plugged those holes.
Did they though?
I mean, they do at the mortuary.
Did they though?
No. But before he passed, I'm sure.
Yes. But
They definitely do at the mortuary.
they came unplugged after a few months or so. Anyways, let's wow. Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Leave it at that. Okay. Baby Jesus. My thoughts are from what I was able to gather there. My question is this. Okay. Did it say? Because, like I said, I wasn't able to really catch a lot of what's going on. I know it probably didn't say in this case what the actual. And I'm saying this. I'm not trying to be funny, but it's going to come out being that way. Did it say the race of the person that actually ended up being unalived?
No.
Did it say what?
The race. The reason I'm saying that, I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not. However, you could unalive yourself by many ways other than having the significant other or somebody else do that. If you are a certain race, you can go to a certain neighborhood and just start yelling out racial slurs, and I'm pretty sure you'll be unalived within 5 minutes. Okay? So why put that on somebody else where they have to go through a trial and have to deal with that themselves? There's so many different ways. If you can't do it yourself, if you can't take that way out yourself, why would you put somebody else in that position? Okay, that you care about. You say you care about and love. second of all, I don't care. I don't care. If somebody I love and care about, and I've been there, I've been in that situation a few times, and somebody I care and love about, they're going through something there, and they're about, saying they're struggling, and they're about to die. I'm not taking their life. I'm not. I'm just not doing it. I
It just
because
doesn't make
number
any
one,
sense.
what
If
to
you
do
if
it?
you're if you're gonna asphyxiate yourself, why would you get somebody to help you die like that when you can literally just hang yourself? It's the same thing.
Right?
No involvement needed
If
from a
you're going
second
to do it,
party.
no. If you're going to do it, then you know what I'm saying, and you know what, definitely, I will take it one step further, right? Okay, because you got to realize, right? There's a lot of people out there that are religious, all right, and they believe that if I'm going through something and I take my own life, that means I will not enter into the gates of heaven because I take my own life, right? That's in the Bible. That's whatever, no matter what religion you believe. If I take my own life, then I cannot enter in the gates of heaven, right? So if I ask somebody else to do it, then I can enter in the gates of heaven because I didn't take my own life. However, now what you've just done is you condemn that person. If you're so religious, you condemn that person to have to now take your life. So it's selfish on so many different levels. When I look at it that way, it's selfish on so many different levels. And like I said, if that's the case, like I said, I don't like to see anybody in pain. I don't want to ever see anybody in pain. But at the same time, if you're going to be so selfish to say, hey, condemn yourself for, if we believe in the same God, we believe in the same religion, you condemn yourself for the rest of your eternity. But at least I'll be at peace because I didn't do it myself. You did it.
I mean,
I didn't unalive
the
myself.
dude was a nurse. He could literally get pills or swipe a bottle of morphine. I mean, if he wanted somebody to help him because he was too scared and they're not religious, then hang yourself and have them pull the chair out from underneath. So it just makes no sense to do it that specific way.
I get you, sis. I'm with you. I am 100% with you. I'm not even arguing with you on that. Okay, so Ace, why don't you, since we're wrapping this up, why don't you tell the people what you got going on coming Sunday?
Sunday, I do trivia over on TikTok. If you're not doing anything, you want to come join us. Yeah, that's very distracting. Go to TikTok and search my name right here, TLB-ACE, or if you're in the studio right now, you can click on that and it will take you directly to my link right there. Click on that. It'll take you directly to my profile. From 6 p.m. Central Time to 8 p.m. Central Time is when I'm live. And this week's topic is music. So we look forward to seeing you guys out there. It's always fun.
Yes, it is fun. I got to find a new name for
Yes, you
my
do.
stuff because Tyler Perry is not for the win anymore.
No.
He's for some other things that I don't stand for. Anyways, don't forget about tomorrow night as well on TikTok. Go to the Birdman Show for the Birdman Show recap. That is going to be on at the profile Birdman Show on TikTok. That's tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Central Time on TikTok. It is a fun time, like Ace said, especially like with trivia night. Exact same thing. We have a good time there. It's where we recap tonight's episode, previous night's episode, and we also, among other things that we do ask for anybody's input on upcoming episodes. If you have ideas for any upcoming episodes that we have going on, definitely hit us up about that as well. Is this the one I wanted? I don't know. Nope, that's not that one. So anybody watching right now or watching later, if you're in the studio right now, you don't have to worry about it. If you're watching this later, go to riverside.fm/studio/Birdman's-studio. That's Birdman's with the S at the end, -studio. to be part of the studio audience when we go live every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central Time. It is a fun time. We do have a great time here. I do enjoy this. I enjoy my co-hosts. I enjoy the people that are on here. They are my sweet babies. Yes. You're talking about the doggies? Oh, they get the doggies. Hey,
Yes.
they get the doggy. Yes, definitely that. So we do have a wonderful time there. I'll also let everybody know I did not put it on here. I will do that later. Oh, actually, let me do this one first. Definitely consider about going on and joining our Patreon page at patreon.com/the Birdman Show, where I will, after we upload this video, which is going to be very interesting to see exactly how this looks. When I upload this one, this will go actually on our Patreon page first. So we get early releases for the Birdman Show on Patreon. That goes up on tomorrow, and then the release actually on our YouTube channel will be Sunday at 4 p.m. So you can actually watch this episode if you're not on here live right now. If you want to watch it later, like I said, earliest you can watch it this Thursday, and then after that it'll be on Sunday after 4 p.m. But you can join our regular subscription at $1. You want to join the Nest at I think it has the Bird's Nest at $3. It has not only the episodes but also has bonus content. So anything that we do as far as production meetings or anything else, I record. So we trust me. There's a lot that goes on that myself and my co-hosts deal with that they don't really realize I actually record. But anyways, you get a chance to have those kind of bonus content. And also, like you said, we'll be having the merch on there as well. So if you're a Nest, if you go on and join the Nest, we'll be sending you out a Birdman t-shirt as well. So yeah, we got a lot of great things going on. I'm excited about it, love it. Oh, then I asked if you get a Birdman t-shirt, rep us on social media. Tag us in there. Tag myself. Tag Ace. Tag Deathlight. Tag us. Let us know what you're doing, and so that way we can give you a shout out as well. Deathlight, do you have anything else you want to say to the good people before we get up out of here?
Nope.
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 Okay. Ace, you got anything else you want to tell the good people?
See y'all tomorrow night, and then looking forward to seeing you on Sunday.
100%. I don't have anything else. I thank everybody for joining us for this episode. Thank you for having your patience with us as we were trying to work through some things. Like I said, I'm still trying to get everything situated with this. I do realize there are some storms rolling through different parts. So, like I said, there's not much I can do. I do love you guys. I do appreciate you guys for everything you do, 100%. For the Birdman Show, it's your boy Birdman. There's Ace. There's Deathlight. We thank you guys so very much for joining us for this episode of the Birdman Show. And like I said, we'll see you guys tomorrow night for a recap. We'll see you guys Sunday for trivia night. And of course, we'll see you guys right back here next Wednesday, same time, same Birdman channel. We love you guys. Do it with us one time we get up out of here. Birdman Show. Ah!